Good day, everyone. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Noki, and you're here once again for another news with Noki. Starting today with your Nintendo Debriefing, where we got a load of brand new games that are going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch this year, along with a number of updates to some of our very favorite games that we're already playing. Kicking things off today with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This epic remastered edition looks extremely smooth and includes new gameplay and features along with a brand new storyline called Future Connected. Launching on the Switch on May 29th alongside its box set, which includes a 250-page art book. Also coming on May 29th are 3 of 2K's most popular games from previous consoles, including the BioShock Collection, Borderlands The Legendary Collection, and XCOM 2's Collection. The next bit of exciting news they showed off was the introduction of Doctor Doom and Marvel's first family into Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, with brand new DLC incoming of the Fantastic Four, along with an entire new storyline and cast of characters. The next game they highlighted was one that will definitely be making it into my game collection, being Shinsekai Into the Depths. I absolutely love the graphical as well as gameplay styles in this game, as well as the amazing soundtrack that they showed off in the Direct. We also got our first bit of post-release news from Animal Crossing, which is that a brand new update will be taking place, including an event starting April 1st and lasting until the 12th, where Zipper T Bunny will be visiting everybody's deserted islands and hiding eggs for you to find, which you can then turn into really festive Easter-looking decor. And as they announced, there will be another update coming later in April that will also include an Earth Day event along with it, though details about what else will be included in this update were not available in the Direct. The next brand new game they showed off was one that was extremely quirky and downright strange, called Good Job. In this game, you'll be assigned various roles and responsibilities within a company that you'll be actually tasked with completing in either the most meticulous or downright destructive way possible. And for those of you who are looking to take part in all of the chaos, this game actually launched the day of the Direct. Next, they included a mature-oriented, story-driven game called Catherine Full Body. And honestly, this game looks a little rough around the edges and not really quite one that I'm very interested in checking out, although I'm sure there are many of you out there who absolutely love this style of game. We also got to see the brand new free update for the Ring Fit Adventure, even more cementing how much my family would absolutely enjoy having this as part of our Nintendo Switch collection, including a brand new rhythm mode where you have to get your body moving to the sounds of the beats in-game. And they also included an all-new soundtrack from some of the most popular games in Nintendo's library, including Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Not only that, but there will now also be a female voice option and the ability to change the language of your ring companion. And probably one of the most interesting features to myself is the brand new casual jogging mode, where you're able to challenge yourself in a variety of different courses and fields. We also got to look at King's Bounty 2, which is a sequel with updated graphics and gameplay, launching sometime later this year. And although I never played the first King's Bounty, this game does indeed look incredibly interesting. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will also be adding a brand new character from Nintendo's original title, ARMS. And although they didn't particularly outline which of these characters they would end up choosing for Smash Bros., many people have speculated that they could do the same thing they did for Hero, in fact using many of the characters from the game ARMS in Smash Bros. To begin with. And they also announced that everybody who has a Nintendo Switch online membership will be able to try out the game ARMS for free now until April 6th. Up next for Bravely Default 2, which is an incredible looking game with some of the most graphically appealing art style that I've ever seen. And the overall gameplay kind of reminds me of something similar to Fable, or as my wife referred to, like you're playing through a television or storybook in real life. And from the looks of it, this game has an incredibly in-depth and engaging storyline that will keep you captivated until the very end. And next, for probably one of the most exciting reveals, at least for myself, and I know for my wife as well, was the reveal of the tabletop games making their way onto the Switch. There are so many great classics coming onto this platform, and I am extremely excited to play all of them with my family. Games like Mancala, Checkers, Blackjack, Connect 4, I mean, 4 in a row. Chess, golf, darts, Texas Hold'em, air hockey, war, yacht dice, and billiards, spider solitaire, matching, bowling, shooting gallery, slot cars, dots and boxes, fishing, toy, everything, and even battle tanks. 51 games for absolutely everybody to enjoy while they're locked in their homes. And some of these games are even multiplayer, both locally and online. So make sure to give a big shout out to Nintendo for giving us all something to do while trapped in our homes, launching on June 5th of this year. Onward to Ninjala, a free-to-play game that will be launching on May 27th. This battle royale style game is available for up to 8 players at a time to enjoy through gravity-defying stages and levels. And I can definitely say that from the reaction my son had from watching the direct, that we will absolutely be downloading this game and probably playing them on our live streams. Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy was the next game that they showed off, and although this game does look a little rough around the edges graphically, the overall gameplay and immense fun that there is to be had from the storyline and multiplayer functionality are an absolute must for any person's Nintendo Switch collection. And they actually revealed at the end of this announcement that they will be releasing Star Wars Episode 1 Racers coming soon as well. They also showed off a bit of the Panzer Dragoon remake, which we obviously all knew was already coming out, although it's still very exciting to see even more gameplay. Then, as per usual, they gave us a bit of a montage of a bunch of other games that are also coming out this year. Games like Trials of Mana, Fuser, Elder Scrolls Blades, Warhammer 40,000, Vigor, and Burnout Paradise Remastered, Saints Row 4, The Legend of Heroes, Trials of Cold Steel 3, Mr. Driller's Drillerland, and Minecraft Dungeons. They ended their Nintendo Direct, of course, by showing off some brand new footage of Pokemon's upcoming DLC, the Isle of Armor, including the Isle of Armor map shown off for the very first time, and actually giving us the indication that this area will be approximately the same size as the wild area in the mainland of Galar. And we also know that you will be able to fly to this area from the mainland. However, there is a train station on the island, meaning that maybe that's the initial way in which you get there. They also briefly showed off the Crown Tundra, however, we were only given a glimpse of the overall forested, wintry area that it will include. They went on to explain the dojo system a little bit more from what we already understand it as, which does seem to include some form of training inside and outside the actual dojo itself, alongside Mustard and your brand new partner, Kubfu, where you will work your way towards challenging one of the 2 towers of fists. And you can only choose one, being either Darkness or Waters, and evolve your Kubfu into its Urshifu form, either rapid or single strike style. They also elaborated on the G-Max forms of our partner Pokemon here in Galar, with Rillaboom gaining its G-Max drum solo move, Cinderace its G-Max Fireball, and Inteleon its G-Max Hydro Snipe, which are actually moves that can overcome the abilities of any Pokemon they're used against. They also showed off all of the brand new outfits and themes, as well as the league cards and the new backgrounds, frames, and effects you can add to them. And if you purchase the DLC before August 31st, you'll actually be able to receive Leon's outfit as an in-game reward. They also announced a brand new wild area update that would be taking place, where we would be gaining access to G-Max Capparaja, Garbodor, Duraludon, and Charizard. In 3, 4, and 5-star dens, you now have a 20% chance of encountering a G-Max Capparaja or Garbodor, and a 30% chance of encountering a G-Max Charizard or Duraludon. And it's very important to note that all 5-star G-Max Charizards are actually going to be shiny locked, meaning you will not be able to encounter the shiny variation of this Pokemon in all 5-star dens. However, you'll still be able to encounter their shiny form in all of the 3 and 4-star dens, just not in the 5-star. And now on to Marvel, where there have been some delay updates for the overall production of all the Disney Plus and movies that were coming out for Marvel this upcoming year. We now know that there were indeed some Falcon and Winter Soldier reshoots because of the original plotline for the show, which included a pandemic that was unleashed through a specific technology and spread throughout the world. And because of all of the most recent stay-at-home orders across the globe, they cannot actually continue with these reshoots and post-production portion of the show, meaning that it very well could or could not debut this upcoming November as planned. Many have speculated that if Black Widow is capable of releasing in August, that this still could present enough time for the Eternals to come out in the fall, and therefore also Falcon and the Winter Soldier on top of it. Though a lot of the scheduling is really up in the air moving forward, and a lot of this depends on how things play out in the coming months. And as many people have pointed out, the introduction of Phase 4 could very well be saved for over the holiday season, with the bulk of it actually being launched next year rather than this year as planned, which would indeed set Marvel back on its overall pacing schedule that it has implemented. However, could indeed leave room for some more reshoots or final edits on these projects, and give Marvel even more time to bake them, so to speak, so they become even greater films. And speaking of the upcoming Eternals movie, there have actually been a couple of rumors that have been swirling around in the Marvel community that we very well could see the introduction of Atlantis in the upcoming movie. Since this movie is set to span over 35,000 years of Marvel history, many people have been speculating that we very well could see the sinking of Atlantis play out among many of the events that were shown, which could lead to the eventual introduction of the character Namor into the MCU. And as many of you probably know by now, the rumor has been swirling for a long time that Namor would be introduced in the upcoming Black Panther 2, which is due to the close relationship that these two characters share in the comic books. Their characters, as well as respective nations of Wakanda and Atlantis, have always shared a bitter rivalry against one another. And this outright burning hatred for one another has actually led to them engaging in many devastating battles and bloody conflicts that have claimed the lives of both sides. Some have even been making the connection that through this plot they could indeed bring through the mutants into the MCU as well, explaining that the Atlanteans were essentially the very first mutated split from the human race. Though unfortunately we're all gonna have to wait a little longer until many of these movies and shows are released finally, and then we'll all have our answer to these burning questions. I greatly appreciate you joining me for yet another edition of the News with Noki. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think of today's stories. If you would like to help show support for this growing channel, please don't forget to drop a max knuckle all over that like button. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe for even more of my daily content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this has been Professor Noki signing out once again for Noki Talks.